I still remember that fateful day, like a scene running on repeat in my mind. The sun filtered through the sleek glass windows of the office, casting shadows on my desk, where I had spent countless hours brainstorming ideas that would change the world. Everything felt perfect, until it didn't. "Max!" Tom's voice sliced through the air, sharp and cold like a winter breeze. I looked up from my screen, a pit forming in my stomach. "We need to talk." I knew it couldn't be good. My heart raced as I followed him into his glass-walled office, the bustling sounds of Silicon Valley fading into a dull roar. "What's going on?" I asked, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. His eyes flickered, a dangerous spark behind them. "I've made some changes," he said, folding his arms over his chest, an arrogant smirk creeping onto his lips. "Effective immediately. You're out." My breath caught. "What? You can't be serious." I felt like the ground had been pulled from beneath me, and I was free-falling. "I've put my heart into this company. We're about to go public. Which is precisely why I can't have any loose ends. You're a liability, Max." The finality in his tone crashed over me, washing away any hope. As I packed my belongings, resentment bubbled beneath my surface. My hands trembled as I placed my framed photo of the team into the box. Julia approached, worry etched across her face. "What happened?" "Tom's decided I'm no longer useful," I muttered, anger bubbling inside, twisting with fear. "But I won't go down without a fight." Her eyes widened. "What do you mean?" "I have the patent," I said, the weight of my secret thickening the air between us. "It covers our core tech in 42 countries. If I freeze it now, they'll lose everything." "Max, that's extreme," she cautioned, but I could see the conflict in her eyes. "It's out of the question." But in that moment, a spark lit inside me. The taste of vengeance felt sweeter than any success I'd ever known. "They betrayed me, Jules. They won't get away with it." As the plan unfolded in my mind, I felt the tension coil tighter around my heart. There was more lurking beneath the surface in this tech playground. Every shadow held secrets darker than corporate rivalry. What I didn't expect was the hidden conspiracy that would soon come crashing down on me. Before we continue with this surprising revelation, a quick alert for you who follow our stories. YouTube has been removing subscriptions lately, so check if you're still subscribed, and leave your like to support the channel. Now, back to the crucial moment. As I drove through the winding roads of Silicon Valley, my thoughts raced faster than my car. The warm California sun glinted against the sleek exterior of tech skyscrapers. But inside, a storm brewed within me. I had made a pact with my conscience, and now it felt like an avalanche was building up, threatening to swallow me whole. Julia's warnings echoed in my ears. "This is a slippery slope, Max." Arriving at my apartment, I sank onto my worn-out couch. For the first time since my firing, I felt clarity amidst my boiling emotions. I had a choice: to let the betrayal consume me or to rise from it stronger. I could feel my ingenuity flickering to life, a challenge igniting a fire I never knew I had. I leaned forward, fingers trembling over my laptop keys. As I began navigating through the complexities of patent law, the weight of the last few days pressed into my chest. The patent was not just a piece of paper. It was my lifeline, a means to reclaim my power. But with every click, I felt the crumbling foundations beneath me. Was I becoming the villain in my own story? Late into the night, my phone buzzed. It was Julia, urging me to meet. "Max, we need to talk," her text read. My heart sank with the unease of an impending confrontation. Maybe she had found something, or worse, a way to dissuade me from my path. In the coffee shop the next morning, her eyes were shadowed with concern. "Have you thought this all through? Freezing the patent could bring more than just trouble," she said, her voice low, yet laced with determination. "Trouble," I replied, the bitterness spilling out. "They've already done that to me. Tom thinks he can just erase me like I was nothing." "Max, I understand your anger," she replied, her voice softening. "But there's a difference between revenge and justice. We're in a game of chess now." My mind raced. I had seen Tom poised for his IPO, controlling every pawn on the board. "I have to stay 2 steps ahead," I whispered, the words slipping out before I could think. Little did I know that my plan was already drawing the eyes of players much bigger than I had imagined. As we spoke, something felt off. Was I truly protecting my creation? Or was I unwittingly walking into the very trap I sought to avoid? Julia's resolve and her gaze struck me hard. I needed to tread carefully. In this world, trust was as fragile as a spider's web, and one misstep could unravel everything. Before I could respond, a figure loomed outside, a shadow I recognized all too well. Tom's presence was a predator's, serious, calculating, and drawn to the scent of freshly spilled blood. "Max!" he called, his voice smarmy and triumphant, sending a chill racing down my spine. As he stepped closer, the stakes escalated. The walls of my fragile support system began closing in. The question lingered. Was I prepared for the battle ahead, or had I already crossed lines I couldn't uncross? The game had shifted, and I was at the center of a maelstrom. Caught in a deadly dance with ambition and ethics, it was clear. This was more than just about a patent. It was about survival. And somewhere hidden beneath the surface, the true implications of my choices loomed large, waiting to reveal themselves. Stay tuned, because in the next chapter, the web of conspiracies will tighten, and I'll discover just how deep Tom's connections go, leading me down a path I could never have anticipated. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss what's about to unfold next. A chill ran down my spine as Tom strolled towards me, his confident stride resonating with power. "Max!" he called, his tone laced with that unnerving smirk. "We need to talk about your little game." I clenched my fists, bracing myself for an onslaught. "What's there to talk about, Tom? I'm out of your little circus, remember?" The words spilled out, laced with a fuse of defiance and fear. His laugh echoed through the coffee shop, icy and calculated. "You think this is over? That you can just freeze the patent and walk away into the sunset? You're mistaken." He leaned in closer, eyes glinting with a predatory darkness. "I've built this company on ambition and ruthlessness. You're acting like a child throwing a tantrum." My heart pounded. This isn't a temper tantrum. This is my future. You didn't just fire me. You ripped my life apart. "Cry me a river," he scoffed. But here's the kicker. I have my eyes everywhere. You think freezing that patent will save you? I'll bury you before you even finish your little revenge plot. And believe me, I know people. A bead of sweat trickled down my back. As he sauntered away, I felt the weight of his threats hanging in the air, a reminder that he held more than just status. He had connections that could ruin lives. Fear and adrenaline surged through my veins. Could Julia have been right? Would I be playing into his hands? I needed to think smarter. This battle was becoming a ruthless game, and I was just a player, not the king. With a mind racing and plans shifting like quicksand, I dialed Julia, urgency fueling my voice. I need to gather evidence against him, something concrete. I think he's linked to something bigger. He's not just playing for his company, he's playing for his life. As we met at her apartment, she peered at me, the worry in her eyes simmering like a kettle about to boil. "You think it's about your patent? You're not just a cog in his machine. You might be unwittingly stepping into a world far more dangerous. What choice do I have? I can't let him walk free, especially not now," I said, urgency crackling around us like a storm. He orchestrated my firing. I need to turn the tide, quickly. But Max, the deeper you dig, the more alarming things could get. Rumors swirl about his ties to patent trolls who dismantle companies for fun, she warned, a note of caution threading her voice. My mind raced. Trolls? You mean people who buy patents just to sue? Tom's that desperate? Yes, and they won't hesitate to weaponize anything to keep you down, she replied, the gravity of her words weighing heavily as we began planning our next steps. Little did I know none of this was happening in isolation. Unbeknownst to us, eyes were watching, ears were listening, and the game was already moving on a chessboard stretched beyond our comprehension. Before the night was out, we uncovered a significant clue, a meeting scheduled between Tom and a notorious figure in the patent trolling world. But with that revelation came a tightening fear. We were in deeper than we thought, stepping into a whirlpool that could drag us under. As I returned home, determination mixed with a sudden cold anxiety, a feeling that I had unwittingly kicked over a beehive. The stakes were becoming clearer, but the danger was growing exponentially. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into the dark alliances being forged, revealing connections that could shift everything I thought I knew. Stay with me, and make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss what's going to unfold. The maze is just about to get more twisted, and I'm terrified of where it might lead. The air was thick with tension as I paced my small apartment, the flickering fluorescent light above casting ominous shadows across the walls. My mind raced with thoughts of Tom and the revelation of his connections to patent trolls. I had entered a game far more dangerous than I ever imagined, and now it felt like I was slipping deeper into a rabbit hole, one that could swallow me whole. I glanced at the clock. It was late, but sleep eluded me. Thoughts of that encounter in the coffee shop echoed incessantly, replaying every word as if trying to decipher a code. You think this is over? You can't just freeze the patent and walk away. Tom's voice was sharp in my memory, cutting through any remnants of peace I hoped to cling to. My phone buzzed, pulling me from my spiral. It was Julia. Max, can we meet? I found something. A wave of relief washed over me. I had been hoping she would dig deeper. I needed her smarts and drive by my side now more than ever. We met at a diner that never seemed to sleep. The neon lights flickered, bathing everything in an eerie glow that matched my mood. Julia was already at a booth, her laptop open, and her expression fierce. You need to see this, she began, pushing her screen towards me. My heart raced as I leaned in, scanning the documents she had pulled up. What is this? I've been digging into Tom's background. It's extensive. He has past dealings with several patent trolls, including a company notorious for ruining startups. They're merciless, Max. They don't just go after the patents, they go for blood. I gulped, the gravity of her words sinking in. So he's willing to use them to retaliate against me? I'm just a small fry in his empire. Exactly, she said, her finger tracing a line down the page. But it looks like he's more than just angry about you freezing that patent. There's a pattern here. He not only manipulates tech, but also preys on those who threaten his reign. If we're going to take him down, we need a solid plan and evidence, something he can't brush away. As I absorbed her words, something clicked inside me. I wouldn't just reclaim the patent. I needed to expose Tom for who he truly was. We need to gather intel on him. If these patent trolls are driven by large sums of money, maybe we can turn the tables on Tom. We need to make a calculated move. Julia nodded, biting her lip thoughtfully. We should tap into that meeting you mentioned. If we can get close enough, even if just to eavesdrop, we might discover something crucial. I think I can infiltrate the meeting. Her brows shot up. Seriously? Are you really serious about this? I can't just sit back anymore. I need to gather whatever information I can. He thinks he can intimidate me, but I've got to show him I'm not afraid. Max, she began, but I cut her off. I have to do this, I insisted, my voice steady. For all of us who've worked on this tech, we can't let him wield control like this anymore. This is bigger than me or my anger. This is about standing up to a system that rewards such greed. Julia sighed, her eyes filled with a mix of concern and admiration. I just don't want you to get hurt. This path is so unpredictable. We can't underestimate Tom. I know, I replied, the weight of her concern a reminder of the stakes on the line. But this is a risk I have to take. If we're going to make a difference and save my patent, we need to be prepared to fight dirty. As we finalized our strategy, a storm of anticipation brewed within me. My heart thundered like a drum, every beat echoing the reality of my impending choices. I had no idea what Tom was truly capable of, but one thing was clear. I was about to stir up a hornet's nest, and I couldn't allow fear to paralyze me. Just as we were about to leave, a figure approached our booth, a smirk plastered across an all-too-familiar face. It was Tom. Well, isn't this a cozy little meeting? He glanced at Julia, then back at me, eyes glinting with malice. You haven't learned your lesson yet, have you? My chest tightened, but I maintained my composure. What do you want, Tom? He leaned closer, invading my space, and for a moment I could see the predator beneath the facade of the polished entrepreneur. You're treading in dangerous waters, Max. You think you can just uproot my company and walk away? You're making a huge mistake. I'm not afraid of you, I replied, trying to keep my voice steady, but his presence loomed sharply in the air. Tom leaned back, folding his arms in mock contemplation. I suggest you reconsider your next steps. You don't want this to escalate beyond what you can handle. Let's see how much you truly control this game, I shot back, adrenaline surging through my veins. I had to remain resolute. There was no turning back now. He gave a chilling laugh. I'll play my cards, but just know, I have more than one ace up my sleeve. As he walked away, that familiar sense of dread settled back in, mixing with determination. This wasn't a simple chess match. It was a life-or-death scenario, and I was unearthing something much darker than either of us had anticipated. In the looming shadow of Tom's empire, things were about to get intensely chaotic. Secrets were just waiting to be uncovered, and my next move could ignite a firestorm. Join me in the next chapter, where I'll plunge headfirst into the treacherous waters of corporate betrayal and deceit, uncovering truths that could shift the balance of power forever. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. What's coming next may change everything. In the dim light of my cluttered apartment, I felt the walls closing in as I prepared for the confrontation with Tom. Deep down, I sensed this battle was more than just about a patent. It was a fight for everything I believed in. My phone buzzed. Julia. I'm at the meeting spot, she texted. The nerves twisted within me, but I steeled myself. This was it. As I approached the undisclosed location, a sleek corporate building with darkened windows loomed overhead. I took a deep breath, drawing energy from the depths of my resolve. Hidden in the shadows of a nearby alley, I saw Tom enter, flanked by two ominous figures. My heart raced. If the stories were true, these were the patent trolls, merciless, cunning. I slipped inside through a side door, adrenaline propelling me. From my vantage point, I could hear snippets of conversation, plans that felt like a noose tightening around my dreams. My heart pounded as Tom's voice echoed, discussing the dismantling of startups. His malicious intent clear. With the evidence in my grasp, I knew I had two choices: expose Tom or let fear silence me. The weight of my decisions pressed down, but a surge of purpose illuminated my path. This was my chance to reclaim my narrative. The moment hung in the balance as I slipped away, ready to take a monumental leap into the unknown. Justice beckoned, and I could either remain a victim or transform into a force for change. As I left, I felt a pulse of hope and determination. This story wasn't just about me. It was also about those who dared to dream in a world filled with betrayal. If I was going to fight back, I wasn't doing it alone. For those invested in this journey, stay close. Join me as I expose the darkness and make decisions that could redefine the tech landscape. Subscribe now, because what comes next won't just change my life. It could rewrite the rules for us all. The fight is just beginning, and I can't wait to show you what unfolds.